B A B B E B B I Biggie Bye B O Bo Biggie Bye Bo B O Boo Biggie Bye Bo Boo. That was the voice warm up they taught me in elementary school. Still using it today. Holy crap! This tea is good. But in addition to that, it's 5-year club video number 50. 50. That's a big number for me. And I didn't honestly know what this video was going to be about tonight. However, I finished my taxes after I got home from work today. And then I got really angry because they sent me into one of these financial education sections of Intuit. And it was complete crap. And I'm sad to say that it's completely typical of what I see from large companies when it comes to financial advice. And so I wanted to show you what I encountered, and I wanted to explain it to you just to clue you in, if you weren't already there, about how much bad advice there is and how we're kind of soaked in America in a culture of debt, which leads to poverty. But people put like a facade of affluence and wealth on it, even though the advice is just straight up bad. So that's what we're going to look at today, is TurboTax's take. They call the product Turbo. When you finish your taxes with them, they say, do you want to import information and check on your financial health? And if you say yes, then this is what you're going to see. So I'm going to go through that, and we're going to talk about it. Let's give them something to talk about. All right. By the way, I mean, I like TurboTax for taxes. I've been doing my taxes with TurboTax since 2008. It's very convenient. But yeah, they've definitely gotten evil with this one. All right. So after you have them pull your information, they're going to show you a screen, and it says, what is your financial health? And my financial health happens to be okay. It's okay. Lewis, your financial health is okay. This is my income. I make smiley face per year. It puts a smile on my face, but I don't need to put it here. I got pulled from TurboTax. They don't really say anything about that. They're just like, yep, number. And then the credit score is low, 649. I think it's like 646 according to some other scoring agency. I'm really hoping it goes away. That's my goal. And then debt to income ratio is 0 because I've got no debt. And they have some kind of call to action button that says, like, learn some details. If you click on that, see the details. If you click on that, you get a pop-up. And the pop-up, you have a separate pop-up for each of these 3 things: income, credit score, and debt to income. And this is the income one. Why these numbers matter. Your income. Verified IRS filed income enables us to provide you with personalized advice about your financial health. It also plays a critical role in determining how much you can borrow. Debt. First thing you see about your financial health has to do with how much debt you can get into. Your financial health is determined by how much debt you can get into. Yeah, that sounds like a good thing. And if you click on the income section, they give you some helpful tips. Consider leaving your cards at home and using cash only if you're trying to budget yourself. Oh, sorry, I may have said that. And using cash only if you're trying to budget yourself. So it's like, all right, you care about me being able to borrow a lot, but if I'm trying to budget and plan, I need to leave the cards that I borrow on at home? That's a little bit of a mixed message. All right, so next pop-up is the credit score. Credit score is a factor to determine the interest rate you can get for a loan. Turbo also provides your full credit report and monitoring. Well, I've got credit reports from other places, so I don't need it from Turbo. But again, debt, more debt. So they frame income as something that just determines how much debt you can take out. Credit score determines the interest rate when you take out some debt. And then they give you, if you click on the debt section, it gives you some helpful tips. Setting just $10 aside from every paycheck can help ensure you have a small emergency fund. That's for sure, for sudden financial setbacks. That's right. If you put $10 aside from every paycheck, your emergency fund will be tiny. It'll be like a latte emergency. I mean, that's $20 a month. That's $240 a year. It would take you 4 years just to get to Dave Ramsey's baby step number 1. That's how you stay poor. Right? And the other helpful tip under the debt section, once you pay off a credit card, consider keeping your account open at $0 if you're comfortable with the annual fee, because closed accounts may impact your credit standing. If you're comfortable having a card that you don't use that charges you money every year, just let it ride. That's what financial health is. Financial health is paying people automatic money every year for doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, that sounds like really great advice. All right, and the debt to income ratio, aka DTI. DTI is an indicator of whether or not you're living within your means and a critical factor to determine the size of the loan you can get. It's calculated by dividing your monthly debt payments by your monthly income. The lower the percentage, the better. Well, then why do you care about me taking out, these big loans? If the, it says what? Determining how much you can borrow. Why do you care about how much I can borrow if you're telling me also that the less I borrow, the better? How does that make any sense? Right? And then they got this section below the first one, what your numbers get you. And so we've got these subheadings. Get the best card, but I'm leaving the card at home because I'm budgeting. So get the best card. Refi student loans. Don't have any student loans. Don't encourage people to get student loans. Start investing. I already have investments, and I'm happy with the efficiency of Vanguard's index funds. Or buy a house. Well, I already own a home outright, so I don't need to worry about that. Right, so for me, the income and the debt to income sections are not very interesting because this is 0 and this is happy, and they don't really give much context or detail around the income for me to talk about or show you. So I'm going to focus on the debt section, and specifically the credit section and the credit score section. So, this is 650. My score's around here. It's apparently kind of low on this score, 649. And my credit score breakdown. So remember, my financial health is okay. It's just okay. Okay. All right. Very well then. Okay. Yeah, it's just okay. And it's pulled down by that credit score because they say my credit score is, what do they say? Fair, poor? What language do they use here? Low. They just say low. Get low. Yeah, so this is the details of my credit score. On-time payments, 100%. Haven't missed a payment ever on my credit report. Awesome. Credit utilization, 0. High impact, awesome. Age of credit, 14 years, 11 months, awesome. Total accounts, 10. This is kind of fake because it's like I've got 9 closed accounts and 1 account that is not my account. It's my mom's account. I was just listed as a user of it in college in case there was an emergency, and then I was taken off as a user. So even though I'm not responsible for this card and I'm not a user on this card, it's still listed on my credit report, and it's the only open thing on my credit report, and I can't get them to take it off. I've asked, and they're like, we can include whatever we want. Okay. So total accounts is okay. Doesn't say low, it says okay. Derogatory marks, 0, awesome. Credit inquiries, 0, awesome. So the only thing on the whole credit report is that the total accounts are okay, which leads to this credit score saying low, which leads to my overall financial health being okay. It's okay. And so it's just a farce. It's absurd. You keep clicking around this website, and you'll get to like a discovery section. In the discovery section, you can figure out how to build your retirement, which is a sponsored ad by Honest Dollar. But Honest Dollar is actually Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs. Yeah, Goldman Sachs has my best interest at heart. Goldman Sachs has never fucked over anyone ever before. Definitely not. Certainly not during the housing crisis. That wasn't a thing. Anyway, so I found an article here. It was on a sidebar. What Your Credit Score Says About You by Mint Life. Intuit owns TurboTax and Mint. So let's go read this article. What Your Credit Score Says About You. January 31st, 2017. So it's a pretty recent article. January 31st. It's only about 2 weeks ago. By Farnoosh Torabi. All right. Not that familiar with Farnoosh Torabi, but we'll take a look in a bit. And let's read the article. Your credit score is more than just a number. It represents how reliable a borrower you are, how well or poorly you manage your debt. That's not actually a full sentence, I think. She needed an and there, but ignore it. That's just me being mean because I'm angry at her about the article. Just like your SAT scores back in high school, which I prefer never to think about again, it will spark judgment. Prospective lenders, landlords, and maybe even a new dating partner will use your score as a make or break sign. If you're curious to know where you stand, be sure to check your Mint credit score provided for free on your Mint dashboard. Depending on where your score falls on the credit score scale, which runs between 300 and 850, what does this 3-digit figure actually reveal about you? ? So it represents how reliable a borrower I am and how well or poorly I manage debt. Well, I never missed a payment on any of my debt, and I paid off over $100,000 in debt in the last 2 years, and I've got no debt now, and my credit score is low. So I'm not sure this sentence is correct, but let's read about these different credit scores. Super Prime, a score between 781 and 850, is the equivalent of an A or A+ on your school report card. It implies you've been very responsible with your credit, paying your bills on time and in full each month. Even if you had a low score at one point, you've worked hard over time to reclaim a top spot on the credit score charts. In short, you're very mindful and responsible when it comes to credit. Your score also reveals that you're a relatively safe bet when it comes to borrowing money from a lender or renting out an apartment. According to FICO, the lowest mortgage rates tend to go to borrowers with credit scores in the 760 to 850 range, which means your high score will also help you save money down the road. Prime, 661 to 780. Within this range, your credit score is just shy of great or excellent, suggesting that you have some room for improvement when it comes to managing your credit well. Since payment history and your debt-to-credit ratio are the two biggest factors in crunching your credit score, a figure in this range could signal that you are late paying a bill recently or are carrying a tall balance on your credit cards, or both. A score of 680 or 720 will hardly exempt you from qualifying for credit, but it may cost you a higher interest rate on that loan. Near prime, 601 to 660. That's me. I'm near prime. I'm near my prime. I like that joke. Did you recently foreclose on your home? Are you delinquent on some bills? I paid off my home, but I don't think that's the same thing as foreclosing on my home. At this level, your score suggests you are going through some tough credit times, or at least recovering from some recent setbacks. While you may be making the right moves to rebuild your credit now, it may take some months or even several years. Meanwhile, lenders will see this as concerning. You may qualify for new credit, but it will likely come attached to a higher than average interest rate. Oh no, a higher than average interest rate on a credit card? I guess I'll just have to use all that money I have. This is hilarious to me because I'm doing better than I've ever done before. And and this thing is acting like my credit score means that my home was foreclosed on. What the hell? All right, and then subprime, which honestly I kind of wish that I was in subprime just so that I could read through this. All right, subprime, 300 to 600. At this point, I'd say low. I'd lay low and not apply for any new credit until your score tacks on at least another 50 points. Your score is telling people, I'm not in a good place, and banks and landlords may see you as too big a risk. If you're getting over a bankruptcy or foreclosure, it may take 7 to 10 years before the stain falls off your credit report. In the meantime, your score may be slow to heal. To help, you could take on a secured card, which is sort of like a credit card on training wheels. It's designed for people who can't qualify for a typical credit card yet, perhaps due to very low credit. How it works, you load the card with your own money just like you would a prepaid card, then use it like a credit card, charging a few expenses on it and paying off your bill every month, or essentially paying yourself back. The activity on a secured card gets reported to the credit reporting agencies. Use it wisely, and your credit score could inch up sooner than later. Eventually, you may be able to qualify for a traditional credit card and really start to enhance your credit game and boost your score. Patience and good behavior will go a very long way. So they get to float your money when you put it on this card, and I bet you anything these secured cards have like really painful like $200 a year fees. They have these things called like credit building loans where you pay a monthly fee of like $50 and over the course of a year, so it's like $600 total that you would pay, and then at the end of it they give you back $600 or something, but then there's a fee I think attached to having this, like $50 or whatever that you're paying them just so they can run your information through the system. It's crazy. So did you recently foreclose on your home? So what does the word foreclose mean? To take possession of a mortgaged property as a result of the mortgager's failure to keep up their mortgage payments. Well, if I was a bank, I could foreclose on a home. But why I can't foreclose on somebody else's home? I'm not a bank, so I'm not even sure if that sentence makes sense. Anyway, who cares? This article is crazy. And it's by Farnoosh Torabi. So who is Farnoosh Torabi? An attractive person. So money. I think she's got a podcast. There's something in here, graduated Penn State, MS in journalism from Columbia. That's nice. And then we've got Oprah. Okay, Farnoosh would become the new financial columnist for the Oprah magazine. So she is Oprah's new financial guru. Well, Oprah's previous financial guru was Susie Orman, and I think she's trash. So that's not boding for well for my opinion of Farnoosh's financial advice. Let's see. Story. This is from her website. I hated my name growing up and created new identities for myself between the ages of 11 and 14. I've been Tina, Christina, Ashley, and Nikki. My parents obliged by calling me these names. So she's very personable. It's like, not everyone likes their name. I can relate. I peaked in the 11th grade. I played Sally Bowles in our school's edgy theatrical production of Cabaret. Ooh, she's connecting with theater people. Emotional connections. Attractive picture. Educational pedigree. Award, a named alumna of distinction by Penn State University for graduates under the age of 35. She has got her husband is a software engineer, and it says in other articles that I don't think I included here that she makes significantly more than her husband, so she pays all the bills. And looking at this, it's hard to make more than a software engineer. Software engineers make good money. I gotta say, I look at it and I'm like, okay, the way that Farnoosh makes her money is by writing articles for Mint.com that really kind of deify the credit score as this really important thing with financial health, in order to encourage you to take on more debt in order to raise that score and play that game. And that's how she's making so much money. So I'm not really confused, I guess, about why she wrote the article. She wrote the article because she is well compensated for using her personal brand and her connections with Oprah to lend more credibility to what Intuit wants you to believe about financial health, which is that it is closely tied to getting yourself in debt, and a lot of debt, being able to get into a lot of debt and then paying it on time. I think it's really sad that this industry has these people in it who are giving bad advice and putting a good face on it. And she's well spoken. I'm sure she's a very nice person, but her financial advice is really pretty bad. And I want to go back. I want to give you some context for this whole thing. Okay, is that according to TurboTax, my financial health is okay. It's okay. Nothing remarkable. There's a website called Status Money where people sign in and they give their net worth and their age and their credit score and all these different things. And it'll tell you basically where you rank among your peers. And let's see, so what are the factors? The factors are age, credit score, income, and the city where you live. I believe that those are the things that they use to determine who your peers are. So according to my age, my credit score, people living in San Jose making somewhere near my income, I'm in the top 24%, which is pretty good. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, sure. So I'm doing pretty good for people with my income, but definitely not as well as some other people with my income who are my age. But for people who are 33 years old in America, according to this website, I'm in the top 1%. And I mean, that kind of I don't feel like I'm in the 1%, but I guess I am. And my guess is that people on a money website that's trying to rank you according to your net worth almost for sure is going to be biased towards higher income people. So whatever statistical data set they're using, I'm pretty sure it's going to be biased towards the higher end. So the fact that even on a website like that, I can score in the top 1%, I'm like, yeah. I mean, to be fair, the sons and daughters of billionaires likely don't include themselves in these websites. So, and they skew kind of what 1% is versus anything else. So there's that. So maybe I'm not in the top 1%, but point is, among people my age in America, I'm doing really well. That's what the actual data says. And yet Intuit is choosing to phrase this as you're doing okay, but you'd be doing even better if you took out more credit and made payments on debt, got yourself into more debt. And that's it. We're surrounded by this stuff. And it's a cancer on net worth building, and it's a cancer on financial health. So that's it for today's video. Stay aware of the financial journalism you're reading, and always take any article you see back to net worth building. Is the article even addressing net worth? Did they even talk about it? Did they even say anything about it? If you look back at this, Intuit TurboTax thing, there's nothing about my net worth anywhere in their questionnaire. They don't care. I could be worth $2 billion and they'd say my financial health is okay. That's ridiculous. Come on, $2 billion? I mean, I'm not worth $2 billion, but if I was, I think I'd be financially healthy. Come on. All right. That's it for video number 50. Rage. Rage at bad financial journalism. Yeah. All right. Have a fabulous evening.